Hello and welcome to the More Cheese, Less Whiskers podcast. My name is Dean Jackson, and today we have an international caller from Switzerland, and we're going to really focus our time, as you'll hear, on really getting deep into Profit Activator number one. This is the most important, really selecting who your target audience is, really getting to understand what it is that they're going through, what it is that they need, and looking for that intersection of what they really need and what you can offer. What is the dream come true scenario that you can provide for that audience before we ever get to think about Profit Activator 2, which is how to get them to raise their hand. So I think you're going to really get a lot out of listening to the wheels turning and how we kind of dig into understanding what an audience really wants, where they are, how to kind of structure the way that we look at it. So enjoy this episode, and I will talk to you on the other side. Roman.
Hey, Dean.
How are you?
I'm fantastic.
Well, I'm excited to finally get to talk to you here. How do I pronounce your last name?
You say Roman. My last name, you mean?
Yeah.
It's Bourquin, but some English people say Bourquin. But if you want to get it right, you say Bourquin, and you're totally fine with that.
Oh, good. Well, there we go. Well, we have. I love that we have all these international callers who've been all over the world here. So you are one in a wonderful continuing string of international callers. So I'm excited to spend some time hatching some evil schemes with you. Do you want to kind of
could you just
what you're doing?
Yeah, sure. Today I'm coming from Switzerland. I just wanted to say that I feel like a kid on Christmas Day that is about to open his present, you know?
I feel the same way.
And, Switzerland, it's not Sweden, Switzerland, we're really known for cheese. We have like the best cheese in the world. So it's like appropriate to have a episode of More Cheese, Less Whiskers.
I love it. That's so great. I love it.
And do you know why we
Switzerland? But it's on.
Yeah, you should come. Sure. It's 1 hour and a half from London by the flight. But you know why we have like the best cheese? Because we have like the best milk. And I always laugh when I hear you to say you remember your concept about the self-milking cow?
Self-milking cow. That's exactly right.
Yeah, we have the best cow in the world. So I think cheese and cows is like the perfect country to visit next for you.
Well, there's a funny commercial here in the United States where there's. Have you been to the U.S.?
Yeah, like many times. Like I've been in Florida last month. I wanted to see you, but I was like busy with the family.
Oh, okay. So there's an area here called Wisconsin, which is where most of the dairy comes from. It's north of Chicago. It's cold and it's wintery. And there's a for the California Dairy Board, which competes with the Wisconsin Dairy Board, and they say that great tasting cheese comes from happy cows, and happy cows live in California. And so they show the comparison of these cold, freezing cows, miserable in Wisconsin, and these happy cows roaming the wonderful sunny fields of California to make you feel like the best cheese comes from happy cows. So maybe that's what's happening in Switzerland, the happiest cows in Europe.
Yeah, I think we have like the best mountain in the world, and maybe they have such a nice scenery that they're so happy with that, maybe.
That's right. There we go. Cool.
Yeah. It's like amazing to have the privilege to have like a time with one of the best marketer in the world.
Thank you so much. So
Yeah.
let's kind of set the stage here. Tell me what you got going on and what kind of evil schemes we can hatch today for you.
Yeah, perfect. So I've been originally for 10 years in the web hosting world. Like you have a lot of web hosting also in United States. I think Joe Polish knows about Rackspace and whatever. I mean,
yeah, me too.
Host. Yeah, and the thing is that this market is pretty harsh, pretty competitive, very low margin. And I'm not complaining. I have some business. We have like a few thousand people, few thousand clients. So we're pretty happy. But it's not a market that's, because of Facebook, Instagram, and whatever, it's not going really up, because today if you have a great Facebook page and you have a good Instagram or you have Shopify, you don't need to have a web hosting account. So
it's less important. Yeah.
Yeah. So we have originally we have like many other customers where we were doing some development, some special development, some design, some marketing, and the thing is that it's not really the web hosting world. But I thought lately, like for 2 years, I've been listening to you and to other things, and I always thought about maybe shifting a bit from my business. So the today subject will be more on that side to like using your words, like create a dream come true experience for like clients, but taking care of a lot of many things that they need for their business, not just the web hosting part.
Right. Yeah, like you're in a situation where that is the sort of the baseline stuff, right? Like you're hearing about a brand new website before it ever makes it out to the world, because the first thing they need is the hosting, and then they're going to work on their site and post it up and get it out to the world. So that's one kind of one thing that jumps out at me, that you've got that you're kind of like early in the process for people. Would you say that your clients are mostly people who are setting up new websites, or are you getting people who are transferring from one hosting to another? Do you distinguish?
Yeah, that will be more new website. We do have some people that's transferring to our company and some people leaving to other company, but it will be mainly new websites.
Okay. And how do you find them right now? What's the process that you use to get new clients like that?
But do you want to talk about the web hosting or the new? The custom services that I want to build.
Oh, perfect. Okay, tell me. I'll follow your lead here.
Yeah, because the thing, the web hosting, the problem I have, and I think it's a good idea that you say that it's the first thing they do. But originally, my web hosting targets were more on the price tag, and the problem when you compete on the price tag, the thing is that people are like not the 5 stars customer, as you can say. Like they come to you like because it's pretty cheap, but yeah, they're not so much interested to like spend more on other things, And today, I think with my shifting, I think really I love your 8 profit activators, and I really think about shifting completely, not going to the low cost offer, but really go to the high end. And I think with niching, I'm going to tell you something I thought, and I really enjoy if you can help me with this thing. So just the offer that we want to some offer that we want to do is that we really want to target. We have, I don't know if you have that in the United States, but do you have a directory of all the new company that is registered?
Well, every state would have a list. Every kind of data is available in the United States. You can get, as soon as somebody registers a new business, yes, you can get a list of those people. Mm-hmm.
So my idea with that, with number, I know you like numbers, and we can begin with that. Actually, I have made research today just to have an accurate number that in my area, it's the French part of Switzerland. It's about 160 new entry per month, and my exciting today to talk with you was that I never did like direct response thing because I was always on the digital side. But it makes so much sense because every time you speak about the postcard or you speak about raising their hands or you speak that physical letters still work, the direct response still work, and I think I really want to have a try because I have this enormous chance to talk to you today, and I will put a challenge on myself to do whatever you say and to go like not 100 but like 200% on what we're going to decide today. But my idea was that when you have this entry, we have mainly like two state of companies here. It's like you can have a company where you will have to deposit like a 20 grand for 10 days, and after you can use it in the company, or the one you have to deposit 100 grand or the half of that, but 100 grand. And I thought with targeting the Profit Activator one, I really thought, say, okay, it's enough to just target those one. It's like 160 per month to really, really focus on this 160 new company that had to like deposit 100 grand, because I think it's a more serious state of company. I mean, I don't know, in the United States you have LLC and other form, right?
Yes, right. Mm-hmm.
And I really thought that beginning with that, with my part of Switzerland, to really like, I really love, and I tried to find this episode, but I don't remember exactly which number. Do you remember an episode where you were talking with, I think, Joe and another guest, where you said that they send up to 20, 23, 27 times some direct response before someone stopped to answer?
Well, I may have said that a lot. I mean, there's lots of different people who mail quite frequently, for a long period of time. But when you look at this, when you're, tell me a little bit about the 160. When you're saying they have to deposit, how much money is it that they're depositing?
So originally, you have to deposit 100 grounds, like 100,000 grounds for like 10 to 15 days to prove that you have this money, and this money is owned by the company. So after you can use it, it's not like you have to pay that to form the company.
I gotcha. Okay. And how much is that in US?
We're about equal.
Okay.
It's like,
so for somebody to start this kind of a company in Switzerland, they have to have 100,000.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. So that's a pretty serious company then. Most people who start companies in the US don't have that level. So that's a good start. So you got 160 of those. What comes with that record? Like when you see that somebody has established that, what information do you get about them? Do you get the contact information? You get the name of the company? You get what kind of company they are? What data is available about them?
That's funny that you ask that, because exactly, you have like the name, you have the address, and so you don't have the email, you don't have the phone number, so that's a little bit tricky. But having the physical address is perfect for direct response because it's a way to reach them. But you have also the sort of company. And the funny thing that you asked that, I've been checking twice today, and I remember that when I did that like a few months ago, there's a lot of real estate company, because I think when they have projects, they deposit like a company to only for this project, you know. They don't
got it. Yeah. So they're buying this property. Yeah. This investment property, right.
Maybe there's something to do with them, because sometimes they also need like a very light website just to have something. But I'm not sure it's a good market, but I have to test it.
Okay. So if we look at it, what would be, if some of them are real estate, what would be your ideal? You know, who would be the people, you know, what kind of companies are you most interested in? If we've got 160 and you were to sort of rule out or sort out the ones that are real estate related as not being exactly what you're looking for, what would be the ideal? What would you be hoping for?
I think the second one is certainly also. I see a lot of investment, like management investment company. I'm not sure that the real estate and management are the best for us, because I think they just have to have that for a legal reason, but
they don't
they don't really look like to create a new business. And I think all other companies than that are pretty a good target for me, because I mean, I think with our I will tell you another thing after, but I think with our offer, it's really like an open offer to say, you know, you don't have like to hire someone to take care of your website or your like emails or like the development for your website, or to do some AdWords or Facebook, because we have people to do that. And I really want to make I love when you say a dream come true experience for the client. And I really like when you talk about the website you give to agent before they pay you. You know, you like they have their listing, and it's like everything for free. And I really like this approach. So I really imagine something really easy, really affordable for the beginning. The people say, oh, that's a good deal, and we have everything. And afterwards, if we have more serious people, to offer them more services or more opportunity to do some marketing or whatever.
Yes. Yeah, I think that's the thing. When you look at, and I'm glad you brought up the dream come true, because that's where I was going for you, is once you're clear on your Profit Activator 1, which would be some number of these 160 new companies each month. But then we need to bookend that with deciding what is it that you can do for these people, right? Like what is it that would be a dream come true for them that you could do if they could just get out of the way and let you do, unlimited the things that you would just roll out the red carpet for them, you know? What kinds of services could you provide for somebody? What are the things that you would just love to do if they would let you do it for them?
I think we have a great stuff for developing. So if people want to have like custom website, because today you can do a website with Wix or whatever tool that it's like you put 3 clicks and you have something. But I think that's very good for the solopreneur or whatever, because if you have like the one-page website, like you have the one-page like you're using to gather emails, so that's you don't really need a company to do that. But I think the site that we want to propose is that be unique, be something original. And we can do whatever you want for you. And for the dream come true, one idea I had is that I have also to differentiate myself, because I mean, a lot of company can do everything, like they come and say, yeah, we know to do some development, whatever. And I think the dream come true for an entrepreneur as you are. I think when you begin a new project or a new company, you have like a ton of things to do. And I was imagining that the dream come true for an entrepreneur is that, you can call us and after 15 minutes, we got you settled with the domain name, with the website, and you just send us the logo, or we can even make a logo, but don't spend time reading our stuff, or don't spend time thinking about what you want. Just give us a call and we'll do everything by call, by voice. Because I think for the entrepreneur, like tomorrow you say, oh, I have this webinar, I forgot to mail someone. So you don't have to do it. You just call us. We got all your data, and you just call us and say, hey, I have to send to my list this email for the webinar. Can you send it for us? Oh, for sure. That's complimentary on your package,
Okay. And so we're getting in that right direction there, that I think that knowing sort of what you have, what that sweet spot is of the things that you can offer, so I want to get a sense of what the economics are here, of what you can do, because part of the thing that you have going for you is if you can get a relationship that's like the baseline relationship, which, their hosting would be one thing. If you look at the infrastructure of starting up a business, it would be the hosting and the payment processing and the autoresponders or CRM, all of those tools kind of thing. That's all the infrastructure level things that somebody needs as a business. Now, do you provide the payment processing or autoresponders or any of those kind of tools?
Yes, during the years we've been looking at a lot of autoresponder, and we developed our own payment processor. But we know how to implement any shopping cart, any payment processor. So we can. It depends on what the clients want. If he's very national or international, we are very open to do whatever he wants. We don't have the objective to have a proprietary solution to impose it to our clients.
Mm-hmm. But you can help them
sure.
with that. Yeah. Okay. And so when you look at those kind of things, is that something that you would do on your own, or do you have other partners who would?
So, That's a good question. That's our team. Our team today can handle all that. We can handle also the marketing, the digital marketing things like AdWords, Facebook, Instagram. And the only thing we don't have in-house, but we think about to have soon, is a designer. But the design sometimes is tricky because if you have one or two designers, they're they have their own style, and some people sometimes just want to have another style. So we have to work with other designers too.
Mm-hmm. But to be able to help people on that level, how what's the sort of lifetime value or annual value of a client that you have right now?
On the custom service, you mean?
Mm-hmm. On whatever services that you end up getting paid for.
For the web hosting, as I said, is very competitive. So we have the same price, like $5 a month. So we don't do really like margin on that. But the other one, it's between like $500 to sometimes we did some special development, like up to $5,000 a month.
Okay, perfect. I think that's a good thing. And then, can I ask, what does it cost you for the $5 hosting package? What is your cost to deliver that to somebody?
For the $5, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's I mean, like, if you take all of the costs, you have maybe like a 50% margin, something like that. But after it really depends on the clients, because we have some clients since 10 years and they never open a ticket, so we're very profitable in that one. And we have newcomers that talk to you like every day, and that's not a good ROI. But
right,
you cannot just select the one you want.
Yeah, you don't know what's going to happen there.
No,
and that's part of the reason that I was asking, is looking at, if you were to start early, like, when as soon as somebody registers a company, do you think that, where in the process do you think that registration is in terms of the timeline of them getting ready for business? Do you think that they've already been working behind the scenes to get their logo and their website and all that stuff ready, and then they register the company as after they've done all of that stuff? Or do you think registering the company is first, and then they get hosting and work on the website and the logo and all that stuff?
I think it's more the former. I don't have precise data on that, but I think that it's the former. Like they have already thought, and a lot of times they have like already bought the domain name. So sometimes if that was just for the web hosting, I think I would be less interested, because I mean, it's like more cheese, less whisker. Tomorrow you don't have. I'm not sure you have a company registered on More Cheese, Less Whiskers, but you do have already the domain name. So I think it's more that they're more advanced when they have that. So that's a reason why I was not so interested to do direct response just for the web hosting, because sometimes if they get the domain name to one web hosting company, they will maybe stay with this web hosting company and to have also the other things there. So that's why I was more targeting more services, because they can have a web hosting, and I don't care if they are not on my web hosting, because for the $5 per month, I'm more than happy to have clients that pay me $5,000 a month, and they have another web hosting company. And even though if the web hosting having a problem, it's not my problem, So that was it. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. But the reason I was asking that is sometimes I was looking at as currency, perhaps, that you have, that you could offer to start the relationship, free web hosting for the first year. Yeah. Yeah. Actually, I already do that with startups. I've been doing some speaking and some things, and I will say I know how it's hard to begin a business, and I was already giving 1 year free. I mean, I was always offer 1 year free for startups, because I say, I mean, if your startup is successful, you will be happy to have 1 year free. And if you're successful, and tomorrow you won't go to another company, because I was helping you for 1 year. So yeah, I like that. Part of the thing that you look at is with this new business. It's a great thing in that there's, let's say if we take away the investment advisors and the real estate ones, and you're left with 100 a month that are real businesses that are starting up, that you've got maybe 1,000 of those over the course of the year that are real businesses. That makes total
sense. These are where everything is going to happen there. And so I immediately start thinking, now those become visible prospects. Now you know who they are. They're starting a business. What the situation is. And given, it kind of becomes your opportunity to kind of screen them in a way by looking and seeing, the description of what kind of business they're in, and if they already have some exposure, like if you were to create some kind of not a scorecard per se, but, some more data that you can glean by looking a little closer at it, you'll be able to see, do they have a domain name? Do they have, because if they register the company and you do a search to see whether that domain name is available, or you cross-reference it to see if they have it, and if there's anything at the website already, you're in a situation where you can pretty much presume that they're going to need that stuff. But if they've already got a website and they've already got the things there, they're kind of they're a little bit more advanced beyond that,
Exactly.
And that'll help you kind of look through what those businesses need. So it reminds me, I'm trying to find the right context for thinking about this. What's coming to my mind initially is that that's something that we call trigger data here, and that's what's available, right? Like, so something that triggers that record to be created is that they've registered this domain name, or somebody has registered for a marriage license, or they've moved address, or they've registered that they own this new property, or a new loan has been registered on somebody's property. There's lots of that kind of trigger data that gives you an indication that something's changing there. And so I look at a new business like this as an opportunity to perhaps almost like welcome that founder, or welcome that company kind of into the business community there. We have something here in the U.S. and Canada for new movers, people who move into new homes. There was something called the welcome wagon, and it would be somebody who goes and greets the new people who've moved in with a gift basket that is provided from the local businesses in the area. So there might be certificates or gift cards or coupons or samples, all kinds of stuff that somebody would like to get in the home, now that somebody's moved in, because it's a transition period. They're going to need to get a new provider for each of the services, kind of thing. So if you think about what's coming up in that next 12 months here for a new business, what you look at what you were talking about, the web. There might be some web development. They're going to have to figure out their banking relationship, their credit card processing, payment processing situation, a logo, printing, stationery, all of the sort of Rolodex of suppliers that they may need to be in contact with. There's potentially an opportunity for being the leader of that group. Are there other businesses that provide services that you don't provide per se that could also be interested in the relationship with these people?
Yes, it's like I think it's maybe the fact that I hear your voice for so many years, like since the beginning of I Love Marketing and even before that. I had exactly this idea, and I have my note here, and I wanted, that was my second idea. I wanted to talk to you, is that going in that direction. I know you're big on book, and the idea is that we have already a company here that I know that like propose you to do some mailing directly to all those companies. But what they do is that they send an envelope, and they will put like four or five different offers for newcomer. But I have a friend that like used that, and he has like zero response. But I thought a little bit different, and I wanted to ask you that. Like, imagine we have some 2-3 things that are really working well here. It's like it's like a food restaurant passport. I don't know if you know that, but it's like a restaurant passport, and the people have to pay like $100 to get this passport. But with this passport, with certain rules, they can get to any restaurants that are in the passport for half the price. And that's a way for restaurants to fill the empty nights, like the weekdays night, because on Friday, Saturday, they don't have problem to fill the restaurant, but the other days they have problems to that. And I spoke to my neighbor, and his cousin, she's running these things, and it's pretty successful. So my idea, and I discussed with him when we were running, is that maybe going that direction with other services. You can imagine, exactly as you said, that when a business is beginning, they have all sort of needs. Like they will need maybe a web hosting, but that's not like the primary thing they need. They need maybe a lawyer. They need maybe an accountant. And I have some business there. They will need some different things. And the things we imagine is that to create a little booklet, but not for free, It's like a magnet, but not for free. And because they put 100 grounds to make it, I mean, to deposit the company, the idea that came like that, and I don't know what you think about that, but we thought that you can buy a booklet for $1,000, so 1 ground, $1,000. But if you buy this booklet for $1,000, you can make up to 20, depends on what you're doing, you can make up to 20 grounds of savings. Like on it could be like on web hosting, it could be on accounting, it could be on lawyer, because if we secure some deals with other partners, we can make them like to commit to say, okay, if we have new clients that way, we do a 10 to 20 to 30% for that client. So going to $1,000 is a bit not my secure zone here, because I feel a bit uncomfortable to ask that such money. But my neighbor said, if they're serious people, they don't care about like spending 1 ground if they can save like 10 grounds.
Well, I think that's true to some extent, but I think it's not necessarily a dream come true for them, right? Like if I take this approach of being of looking at approaching these companies, and aside from setting aside the initial need to monetize it right now up front, is to say, like, what can you imagine what would be like a dream scenario that you could create for somebody that would for that first year of their relationship or getting their things set up, I look at, imagine, and I always like to think it down to one person. So, imagine that a really good friend of yours or a relative of yours is starting a business. And knowing what you know, to want to help them as much as you can, what would be the things that you would be able to do for them that would create a result, And I always look at that as always focused forward on the result, because what are their big hopes? In order for that business to make it, they're going to have to solve some logistical problems, and they're going to have to solve some ideological problems, and some they're going to have a marketing plan too. So when you look at it, what are some of the statistics that what happens to the 100 people that start a new business this month? What in the United States, it's like 80% or more of new businesses fail within the first 5 years, right?
Sure.
So what is the are there anything like are there any sort of government statistics that are available to show how do businesses in Switzerland fare?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty the same as the US. I mean, the number is 80% won't survive the first year. So, but I had a little breakthrough when you speak about the dream come true for the new commerce. Is I think, as you said, that maybe to have a booklet, not to sell it, as you said, because it's not as somehow it's not really welcoming to say, yeah, you just spend a lot of money to make it, and here you have to spend one more ground to continue, and that's not really maybe the right angle. But I think that, as you said, I would have dreamed when I was beginning 10 to 15 years ago, maybe that something I'm not going to throw away directly, because I can imagine if you send a postcard or you send a letter, I mean, we're not really responding as the US here, people it's pretty hard to do some direct response just with a letter. I mean, you have to be really good, or I don't know, I'm not a really good copywriter, but I think maybe going to your direction, I think maybe create a little booklet, a little directory. Even the size should not be a full page, a little booklet to say we're here to help. We're here to make we're here to make your next business successful. And when they open, they can have a little directory to say all these people, all this company knows that the first year is critical, and we made some special offers for you, and maybe we can imagine we even have a phone number. You can call us whenever you want, on the weekdays, and if you have any question about anything, about any subject, we're very, very implemented in the startup world, and we can help you with that. I think maybe that's a good direction.
Well, I think it's a confusing direction, that being everything to everybody doesn't give me any sense of what you actually do, right?
Yeah,
so when you listen to you say that, if you've got any problem or anything, please feel free to call us anytime, day or night, is very you're depending on them to take the leadership role and to ask you for what they need. I'm sure you've heard me talk about the difference between saying, please feel free. There's lots of stuff in the fridge versus bringing you the plate of cookies, right? So when you're very specific, it takes a little bit of foresight to really consider what they need and to really get that, So if we look at it that somebody's registered a business, what do you think the biggest things on their mind are? Like if you were to take the categories, we kind of have been talking about it, that there are some baseline logistics things that need to get done. Do they have hosting? Do they have a logo? Do they have a banking relationship? Can they process payments? Do they have stationery? Do they have all of the baseline opening things that they need, right? Then once they've got all of that layer, now it's going to be, do they have a marketing plan, right? I mean, is that, when you look at that, is it, if we look at it that they're going to have some space, then they may need some office space or a retail space or a, whatever, a location, what, depending on the type of business that it is. And then all the things that will go into filling that space, could be furniture and fixtures and office equipment and desks and telephones and a phone system and all of that sort of next layer physical capital improvements that they're going to need to start the business, right? And then the next level would be the marketing of how are we going to get new business. But even there's probably a layer between that of, if it's a business that requires people, they're going to have to hire staff, hire people, find people to mind the store or to work the restaurant or to whatever the business is. They may need to hire people, and then they may get to the point where they need marketing, and I think that if you can slide into that situation where they can, because that's going to be the fuel that really drives it all, and everything is going to hinge on their ability to get new clients,
That's very interesting, and I love the fact that you slash my idea of being everything to everyone. But I really understand I designed on my note here like a pyramid with the baseline and, like you said, the hiring and the furniture. But how you will sequence that for the people, like as a direct response? You do many different offers, so I don't see really
how you. I
think
that the best way to think about it is as a timeline. So if you look at the registration of the business as a point in time that is either prior to or after they've done all the pre-work of getting their logo and their website and all that kind of stuff. They've got everything. They've been working on all of that behind the scenes, and then they go and register the company as kind of the final thing to open before they open the doors, or whether they register the company and now get to work on doing all of the things that are going on. It's interesting because I've been kind of behind the scenes here with a guy here in Winter Haven who's opening an electrical company, and I've been able to see all the things that go in behind the scenes. Like, he's been working on this for months now. I mean, he's got put all the paperwork together, did the business plan, and got an SBA loan, like a small business association loan. So his company's funded. He came to Breakthrough Blueprint in February or March, one of those two. So he's been kind of getting all of the marketing ducks in a row, and now I've been watching as he's working with the designers on getting his logo and all that set up. He's got his office. He's next up is finding the van, and he's got to get that all stocked up. There's a lot of steps to get to the point where he can pull the trigger on some marketing, and I think that knowing that a timeline is probably the best sort of visual of that, and to see all of these things that have to be, prior to opening the doors, and then, post opening the doors. And at some point, right before opening the doors, you've got to be able to figure out the marketing, right? And for some people, that could be their grand opening. I've been working. We've been doing that with here in Winter Haven for an eyebrow studio called Amazing Brows and Lashes, and that we've been doing Facebook ads offering a $100 gift card for a grand opening, and it's a $500 process. Are you familiar with microblading? Is that a thing in Switzerland where ladies get their eyebrows, permanently done?
Yes,
yes. Okay.
I know.
So
yeah.
It's a big thing, and so it's really interesting to see the difference in enthusiasm for a $100 gift card versus 20% off, which is essentially the same thing. But the $100 gift card sounds like you're getting something valuable.
More real.
More real. It sounds more real. And so they want to grab this gift card. The 20% off sounds like you give me something first, and then you'll get your 20% off, right? But the $100 gift card is, I'm going to give this to you first. Now, of course, that's the only way they can redeem it is to now give the balance, right? To pay, instead of $495, to pay $395 for the eyebrows. So starting to think about like how a business can successfully launch themselves, like to get into motion, that may be a big opportunity, or to kind of set yourself as somebody who is the person who can kind of concierge them through that process, And by the way, there's nothing wrong with starting even an association or starting a, welcoming somebody into a membership of some kind, where there are other types of businesses that offer services that you don't, like commercial real estate and office furniture, office equipment, printing, all of the things. There are lots of people who would love to also be in service to people who are starting a new business,
Mm-hmm. But go ahead. Sorry.
As you being, the host of that, you're positioned as somebody who can also then direct exactly what you're able to do,
Mm-hmm. Correct.
So tell me what you're thinking so far, like how we can.
I really see how you go, and I really like it. I have a bit hard time to just because you say about the process and the timeline, and I really I designed the timeline on my notes, but it's I really like the process when you speak about the real estate. You say do you want to know how much your house is worth, and it's a very very compelling offer, because people want to know that information. And I'm trying to think how I can make that the same for those people that are beginning on the business. How to make a compelling offer like the fresh baked cookie just in front of you.
Yes,
and
right.
I'm trying to think how, but there is so many different options, and so many different possibilities. I don't see really how to make this cookie very, very good.
Okay, so here's the thing. Part of that is where you're designing the type of cookie that we're looking for here is to really understand. It comes from an understanding of what the conversation that's going on in their mind is. So if I know that somebody has raised their hand that they're thinking about, they want the report on Winter Haven lakefront house prices, I know that what's going to trigger the next thing is that they're going to want one of three things. They're going to want to know how much their house is worth. They're going to want to know what they should or shouldn't do to get their house ready to sell it. Or they're going to want, if you just happen to have a buyer, they may consider selling it right now. That's kind of the three main phases that somebody's going to be in. So if we look at somebody who's just registered a business and we're looking to see what's going on in their mind, right? So if they are, depending on where in the process the registration happens, they're somewhere on that timeline of they're not yet open to the public because they just registered the business, right? But everything is leading to that moment, right, when they're ready to launch, sort of thing. And there's all of those things that we talked about from the infrastructure levels, right? Do they need hosting? And all of these things are really things that happen one time, right? So when you start to think through that, what level are they at? What would they most likely need? If you were to think about what's the equivalent of how much is my house worth, do they need to know about the most affordable office space in, how big an area are we talking about where you're focused here?
On numbers, or what was?
Yeah, like in area and population. Is it? Are you in a particular city that you're talking about, or is it all over the country?
No, it's more the French part of Switzerland. It's about 1 million people altogether, and I think I have one thing that I know for sure is that because we made a business around that. It's just the starting, but it's going in that direction too. Is that one thing for sure that we know is that those people will need on the next 12 months or 12 to 14 months, they will need an accountant. That's 100% sure.
Perfect.
And that's an information that I have, and we build an offer around that. So that's the really the thing I know, but it's not a problem, but that's a 12 to 14 months period.
That's perfect. And that's when you start to look at now all of that infrastructure, right? Like what's inevitable that those things are coming, like I've often used an example of, we had a client in Canada who did party rentals, like they rent tents and tables and chairs and all that stuff for weddings. But I asked them what their largest check, right, what the highest ticket thing that they did was, and an outdoor wedding is like the jackpot for a party rental company, because you get the tent and all the tables and the chairs and the linens and the dishes and everything, right? And So when you start thinking about that, if this timeline in that situation fits out that it starts the moment somebody says, "Will you marry me?" and they say yes, and then it ends with "I do" at the end of the wedding, that timeline could be somewhere, most likely within 12 or 18 months, right? Somebody would get engaged and get married within the next 12 or 18 months. Now, of all of the things that have to happen in order to get to that "I do" moment, one of the things on that list is to pick a party rental company, right? But that is that's way down the list from the next thing, the thing that they would start with when they decide that they're going to get married is, okay, where are we going to get married? When are we going to get married? And then it would be all about the dress and the guest list and so they got to pick a time and a venue. And then all of those other things are going to fall into place, right? And if you're a party rental company, instead of waiting and hoping to get in front of them at the moment that they're going to make that decision, why not jump to the front of the line and start where they're starting with what they're looking for, right? So I had them put together a directory to 101 great places to have an outdoor wedding in Toronto.
Perfect.
And so now that bride, the person who's looking for an outdoor wedding, is immediately drawn to that because that means they're planning on having an outdoor wedding and they haven't selected a venue yet, which means that they probably have not chosen a party rental company yet. But if you're the one that is in front of them, right, with the information, now you've got the ability to offer them a completely turnkey, dream come true outdoor wedding where they only have to make one decision, and that's where's it going to be, which one of these venues is it going to be, and then how many people. And we can handle everything for you, from the tent to the linen to the whole thing. That makes it so much easier, So when you start to think about the things that we talked about, from the moment somebody says we're going to start a company to the moment that they say, okay, we're open for business, all of the things that have to happen there, and then all of the things that happen from the moment they open their business through their first 12 months in business, there's lots of needs that they're going to have, including the all the things we talked about, all the baseline things of the hosting and the website and the logo and stationery and all of those things, the place that they're going to do their business, whether it's office space or retail space or commercial, industrial space, and any of the equipment that they need and any of the things to get to the point where they're ready to start doing business. And then the opportunity that you have to help them get more business, is that becoming kind of like, I guess what I want for that to do is to kind of steer you in a direction to think about where you can jump into that relationship,
Yeah, it's exactly my point. Like because I can try to do some Facebook and AdWords and maybe to have them like the moment they say, oh, we have to create a company. So I can even do that, not with the same directory, but I can do some advertising to say, if you want to build a company, we can offer you a guide for what are the best way to open a new company. But coming back to the list I can access directly, I don't really know at what stage they are. The only thing I know is that they will have to have an accountant at 12 to 14 months period. But I don't really see, like, it's very clear for the party company. You said that they provide a guide to the best places to do that.
The venues.
Yeah, maybe I should have a guide, say a guide. I see myself sending a guide to say the best, I don't know, the best solution to have a solution for their problems at these moments, what they have to do. But I thought that maybe you can help me, like, to see what would be very a great offer to them. But it seems to be difficult because we don't know exactly where they are. So that's a bit a challenge.
Right. I think that's part of it, right? Is that you don't know, what stage they're at, but that might take a little bit of effort. Like if you take these, like, do you get this list? Is that list available on a daily hotline basis,
yes,
or is it on a monthly basis? Like, is it a day?
Daily.
Yeah. So, okay. So if you look at it, that there's kind of, maybe 3 to 5 a day, or 5 or 6 a day of them that
something
are
like that, yes.
that are registered, and so looking at those to be able to see, okay, that's a real estate company, that's a financial sort of arrangement, but to be able to see that this is that's the first kind of sorting that would have to happen, right? To say, okay, that makes sense. This company is going to be, somebody that is a real business that we can help, right? And then you can look up. You'll be able to see right away just by even doing a Google search or looking for their domain name, if the company name is there, whether they've got a website registered. You'd be able to see how far down the path somebody is, And there's a I would start with the easiest thing that you can do. There's a company here in the U.S. called Deluxe, and they do checks and all kinds of printing. But one of the things that they do as a front end is they do logo design, and they do it at a reasonable price, and it's sort of a loss leader in a way, because the logo is the sexy, exciting thing that people want to focus on and get excited about, and then that is the precursor to now getting business cards and stationery and putting that on the website and their Facebook pages and all of those kind of things. It's kind of like a very early on thing. The logo, in many cases, is what makes it real in people's minds,
Correct.
And that might be a place, that might be a starting point, or like we said, depending on how far down, if they are, if they don't have hosting yet, that you've got that opportunity to provide that for them.
Like, I think the logo is a good one, because certainly sometimes they have maybe already some things, but it seems that people are very, very attached to their logo. I mean, the majority of people, when they build a company, say, let's spend like a few weeks on a logo, and they think that all the magic is in the logo. I don't think so, but I think a lot of people are like that, and maybe the logo is a good cookie, like you say, you have something good with the logo. I think also with the offer, with the free web hosting or the logo or the accounting, something that I thought about is to make the offer time sensitive. Like you say, we do something for you, but somehow you have like we really reserve that offer for newcomers. So if you take action within 3 months or 6 months period, and we can send a reminder, maybe that's a trigger to say, it's not for everyone, and it will end if I don't take action.
Right. I think that's great. And if you take that approach of, adopting these, the 100 businesses a month that fit for you, and maybe doing a really great, newsletter that would go out to those people, like starting to educate, like a kind of adopting them in a way, where you've got that opportunity to go through the whole, the full first year with them, and really kind of think all the way through on that. Another thing might be kind of an interesting approach is to start an I Love Marketing meetup group, and start and use that as a tool to invite people to come to the meetup group,
That's super. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I have good things there. Yeah, I think I really like the fact that you sliced my approach to offer everything to like on the same time. We have to take in consideration the fact that they are on certain process, and maybe we have some work to do to really define on which process the majority fit, and maybe after 3 to 6 months period of contacting those companies, maybe we can reveal some data to say, it seems that all the companies don't have a logo at the point of their registration. Maybe we have to really offer a really nice little booklet with a logo example, and they say, we like those logos, and maybe I think it's great. It's great.
Mm-hmm. So what do you think? We've talked about a lot, and you see it's kind of this is a process that takes a lot of time. I mean, to really think this through and to really get a sense of where that mix is. I mean, we're literally, we've talked for over an hour, and we've spent the time on really identifying that target audience of these new businesses, but now really focusing on what are the things that they're going to need, and it's where you've got so much opportunity because you can do so many things for them to really narrow it down to what's the best thing, the simplest thing, the fastest thing, the first thing that you could do for somebody right now to kind of start that process,
Yeah, I think that's the genius of talking to you and listening to you on all your episodes, is that I knew that I have some idea and that's like happened on my brain, but I was sure that if I had the opportunity to talk to you, you will discover some evil schemes. And
right.
I think I would have loved a more I love when you were able with the guy with his nature bird stuff.
Yes.
When you make him send the email and he was a bit uncomfortable, but
right.
I was hoping like a real fresh cookie in front of me, but I really see the direction that has to take, and I have like 3-4 directions that are really clear, and I think I got the most of Dean Jackson here.
That's awesome. Well,
yeah,
I really
fantastic.
really enjoyed spending the time with you. It's a funny story about Brian. He was the gentleman that sent that email right on the episode. He's been I've been working with him in our email mastery program, and he just finished a book called "What's That Crow Saying?" And it's really interesting because that's the language that somebody would say about trying to interpret bird sounds, the title of the book, now he's got a whole funnel built around it where he's running ads that are getting people to opt in for his book called What's That Crow Saying? And has gone all the way through to where people are buying his program. So it starts out just like that, but you never know where things are going to go.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
What he's saying, like what's his language,
And that's it. It's got a picture on the cover of a crow with his mouth open, like just like you can imagine hearing what the headline is. What's that crow saying? It's so great.
It's perfect because at the same time it's fun and it's like a joke, but on another side it's not really a joke because he's somehow
it's exactly what his audience is saying. So there you go.
That's perfect. So
all right, Roman, we'll keep keep me in the loop. Let me know.
I said that my challenge is that if I have this opportunity with you, I mean, I know that when we listen to you or Joe Polish or whatever other podcasts, you have some great idea and you say, oh yeah, I'm going to take action one day or I'm going to do something one day. But now I decided when I received the email from Lillian, I said, okay, now it's a no return action. If I have this opportunity with Dean, I will follow on that, and and I will have to report to you. So I'm going to send you an email on the next 2 weeks and on the next month and the next 3 months. And I already plan to come to maybe London or Amsterdam. I'm not sure I'm going to do this summer, or in the Miami next year. I don't know. Or this. I don't know if you don't do on November, but I already plan to come to with you for 3 days because I have no choice with that.
Well, there we go. That's where we'll be able to get a lot done. This is just what we've been able to do in an hour. We need 3 days of this. So, that's great. Well, I look forward to that.
Sure. Dean, it was an enormous pleasure from my side. And, I've been taking points since the beginning of I Love Marketing between Joe and you. And you definitely way above Joe. It's a no-brainer. You can tell Joe to listen to this part and say that I don't know what Joe is doing, but Dean is way above.
Oh, that's so funny. I love it. I'll be sure to let him know that you said that. Thank you.
Yeah. Make him listen just the end of this episode and say,
it's quantified. It's quantifiable. There you go.
Yeah, you're too late, Joe. I mean, what are you doing? I mean,
that's so funny.
Look how Dean is doing. I mean, what?
Well, we've got.
Go ahead.
We're just about to do our 300th episode coming up here, so we'll look at lot to catch up.
Yeah, Dean, you're a special human being, and I cannot tell you how much we love you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Have a nice day.
I'll talk to you soon. Thanks, Robert.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Dean. Bye.
And there we have it. Another great episode. Thanks for listening in. If you want to continue the conversation, we'll go deeper in how the 8 Profit Activators can apply to your business. 2 things you can do. Right now, you can go to morecheeselesswhiskers.com and you can download a copy of the More Cheese, Less Whiskers book. And you can listen to the back episodes, of course, if you're just listening here on iTunes. Secondly, the thing that we talk about in applying all of the 8 Profit Activators are part of the Breakthrough DNA process. And you can download a book and a scorecard and watch a video all about the 8 Profit Activators at breakthroughdna.com. profitactivator.com. And that's a great place to start the journey in applying this scientific approach to growing your business. That's really the way we think about Breakthrough DNA, as an operating system that you can overlay on your existing business and immediately look for insights there. So that's it for this week. Have a great week, and we will be back next time with another episode of More Cheese, Less Whiskers.